Jesse on Purpose, and I have Savannah and Chris here with me today, and they're going to do a little introduction on themselves, and then we're going to dive into some conversation about them and their business.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This has been great.
Thank you. We're very excited.
Sav, you want to jump right into it, like what we do?
So we are a media marketing company based out of here, Las Vegas, and we specialize in all things media marketing. So we do portraiture photography, editorial, hospitality, product. We basically are just a one-stop shop. So you come to us and we can handle everything for you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Very cool.
Yeah, we work in the travel, luxury tourism, side of things, and like Savannah said, like we do a lot of editorial. We work in music management, music videos, album covers, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And then you guys were just telling me that you kind of go all over the place with this.
Yes.
So it's not a one-stop shop in Vegas. It's worldwide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The travel tourism that we work for tourism boards and hotels. So we're constantly like in different countries working for that. I would say that's probably 80% of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have studios in Vegas and Connecticut where we work with musicians and product photography and tons of other stuff, right?
Yeah.
She is adorable. She is so cute.
She interrupts every time. I'm
No,
telling
I love it. So yeah, I mean we're kind of like I know it sounds like we're all over the place with everything, but we have a structure to it, right? So we start out as photographers and videographers shooting everything ourselves, me and Savannah, and then now we have a team of people. So we directly remotely direct a lot of the projects. So we have a team of guys that we send out. So for example, like we work for a seltzer company that we'll send our guys out to go photograph certain lifestyle campaigns and for the hotels as well, right?
Yeah, events and things like that. So we don't have to be as hands-on anymore, so we can take on even more projects.
Yeah.
You guys are now like on the top, right? Like you have the visionary and like the
Mm-hmm.
integrator top is you guys, and then you have like your people below that are handling everything.
We're just trying to connect the dots.
Yeah.
We're getting there, right? That was ultimately the goal, was to build the team and have more projects. And there was just a point where there was too many projects where we couldn't photograph them all. We couldn't do media for them all. So now we could do multiple projects at once.
How long did it take you to get to that point where you're like, okay, now I can oversee instead of being in the business, like the day-to-day all the time?
Well, we've been working together for the past 6 years, so I think it wasn't really until last year that we started doing the kind of remote directing of these various projects, because we really did try to take on as much as we could, because a lot of it is personality too. Like when you're selling a product, you're selling yourself as well. And so we always wanted our clients to have that genuine experience with us and be, trust in us and trust in what we can do and kind of build our name brand recognition that way. But we were discovering that we were stretching ourselves a little too thin. So we had to release some of that control and trust some of these other guys to work with us. And it was a process, like a trial and error of figuring out who was trustworthy and who wasn't. Right. And so there were little bumps and hiccups along the way with that. But
I think our clients specifically, but in our fields, there's different points to it. So it's like, I think they would much rather hire personality than quality content. I mean, quality, you still need the quality, right? Quality is really, really important. But that was a tough, and especially finding people, to work for us. Mm-hmm. That whole trust factor. Are they personable? Are they going to talk to our clients the right way, the way that we, expect them to, in a professional way? There's a lot to, lose and gain in that way, because we can add new value to it with somebody new. But if we're not there directly, we try to fly into most of the projects, though, right?
Yeah, I would say we still take on like probably 70% of our projects total.
Right. Yeah, so when
we're there physically.
Right. When we travel, that's when we send our guys out. So for example, we're going to Greece for the next 3 months. During that time, so we were just in Aruba last month for about a month, and then we had projects in Vegas and also in New York and Connecticut where we had to find outsourced people to work on those projects while we were overseas working on the hotel and the travel tourism stuff.
So how many basically, are they employees or are they like freelancers? Who are you like?
Just freelancers.
Freelancers.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're actually hopefully getting to a point soon where we're gonna have people staff, right? We're gonna have people
that's the ultimate goal, that we can keep everybody busy enough that we can have them on full time.
Right.
Yeah.
So because then we'll catch guys, we'll work with a team. And then, a new project will come up a few months later, but then they're busy. So then I have to find somebody new I've never worked with. And then, I mean, I think that's a cool part of it, is that we get to find different people and how well we mesh between different teams and different guys. But at the same time, it's easier to just kind of work with one team throughout stuff. We do have one guy that works for us a lot, and he usually is not super busy on other projects. He just kind of focuses in on what we need it for. At least he takes our projects as top priority. We also have worked with other teams, like I said before, that they just end up being busy and we can't work with them again. But we've worked with them so much in the past that it kind of puts us in a corner like, damn, like I'd really, I want to work with these guys. But like I said, I mean, it just opens up that door to new teams and new quality work and just new
artistic ideas.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially in like an artistic type of like industry, you kind of like want that different kind of look at things, right? Like it changes depending on who you work with and like their vision versus your vision and like how they collide.
Yeah, that's where it comes down to that like quality versus I don't want to say quantity, but just more like personality, right? So it's like, because I know that old team, how they worked and how they handled the professional connection with my clients, but it does offer that new quality, the new creativeness of their craft, right? So there's that push and pull. It's a good thing. It's always good, but it's like you said, it's just something that we just constantly are just learning, right, about new people.
Is it so in like this like any type of like film industry, I find it sometimes wishy-washy with people. So do you find that in like some of the people that you work with, like some of them just aren't reliable?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, we've actually had issues with people in the past where we've had like very strict deadlines, and they would be giving us saying that, oh, I will have it done by this date, and then they just drop off the face of the earth and we don't hear from them.
We've had somebody that we've had a great relationship with for years that did a lot of our projects, and they just messed up on a really big project on a deadline, and that falls on us because they're part of our company for that time. So if they're late, even though we have backups, so we have contracts with these freelancers, but it just becomes a legal issue where, for example, like we were doing a big music video and our subcontractor, our freelancer that we hired to edit it, didn't make it on time, decided to turn off his phone, even though he had a contract with us. And that falls on us, right? So it's like, then I'm having to, that was a mess. Luckily,
and then we have to appeal to the client, start apologizing and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Try to mitigate the issues. But
luckily that was a once in a blue moon thing. That has never happened before as far as like missing a deadline. But that was somebody that we trusted and we worked with him for years.
Yeah.
And so it put us in a corner, so that's like
the ball with that one.
So that's it. So like maybe I take back what I said before, like it's finding new people. It's like that's what I have to be worried about sometimes, right? Is that trust factor. But this guy we knew for years that worked on numerous projects for us, and then this time, and he came up with some crazy excuse about his phone died, and
it's like any relationship. I think of it like dating, when you're trying to work with different people, it's like you have to go through the initial steps of like, oh, what's your favorite color, what's your sign,
right.
Things
Literally,
like that. You have to go through that whole process from the beginning until you can finally like learn to trust the people. So
well, it's crazy. You can work with somebody over and over again like you guys did, and then like out of the blue you're like, whoa, wait, how did this happen?
Right.
Like you didn't expect it, you trusted them, and you just sometimes don't know people fully enough to know like they could throw you something.
100%.
Yeah,
that is a hard thing. And it's funny that you compared it to like a relationship, because I talk about all the time about how like connections in any relationship you have to work on, and like even a business one, right? Like if you're not like constantly working on this, you don't really know how that person's going to handle something when it's thrown at them.
Right. Yeah, no, literally, I think work can be, they compare it to sometimes like high school, and there's certain like office jobs can be like high school. our job can be like a relationship.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
The creative world is interesting too because I feel like it's a mix of like people that never grew up too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, right. That's a good point. Yeah.
Because I've done a lot with like the film stuff, right? Like with like being in like short films and like I don't know. I helped a friend like produce a couple things and like it's like it's funny because the actors remind me of children, like literally adults that have never grown up.
Yeah, that's I like that. Yeah.
I think too, you always have to be like a little bit crazy in order to be in the creative industry.
For sure.
Like, there's
Too.
something a little bit wrong with
Yeah.
you're a glutton for punishment.
Because
in the
otherwise
creative
you think
industry.
too logically to be able to think creatively.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's how we kind of balance each other out. Like when we met 6 years ago and we ran right into this, I'm crazy, dude. I'm definitely like, I'm lighting stuff on fire and photo shoots and I'm breaking glass and, like I'm just doing really crazy. I've always been like that, like within my, my process of creating art. And when I met Sav, it was like, you kind of like, you're more like an ABC.
I was like, where are the contracts? Where's the
Right.
where's
I'm just trusting people to send me money at that point.
I know. I'm like, if somebody gets injured, like, how are you protected?
Right.
You know,
Taxes, right? Make sure we're not getting audited and
Getting
Yeah.
their W-9.
Yeah, literally, yeah. I didn't know about any of that stuff. Like I was just kind of, when I had my business, I had an LLC and I had everything, but yeah, I didn't know like how much. So we balance each other out that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then Sav will sometimes have to take me back and be like, Chris, that's a little crazy, like you're right, 100%.
I know, and then I have to interpret like his brain and his thought process a lot of times.
yeah.
So I try to explain it to people a little, and it's like he's throwing all these ideas out, and I'm like, okay, well, logically, this is what we can do.
Right.
Here's
I'm
how
very,
we do it.
very spontaneous. I just think of that South Park episode. It's like, good luck, everybody. I turn left now. Like, I don't know if you've seen that, but that's.
I love South
Yeah,
Park.
me too.
Have you seen the new ones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great. They're
Yes.
fantastic. We've been binge watching them. But I literally like I'll just, especially like in production.
Yes.
I've been working on production sets for the last 15 years, and I don't know. I feel like I'm not an oddball when it comes to that, but I'm just so like spontaneous and crazy, and like as far as like I'll just think of ideas on the spot. And then Sav, you'll kind of like have to come in and be like, like hold on,
Bring you back to reality.
Yeah.
That's good though. You need the balance. So when you met 6 years ago, like were you dating at the same time? Like is that how that all happened, or like?
Yeah. Well,
What?
you can jump into it.
Well,
Yeah.
what was the process there?
Well,
Like,
so we met 6 years ago when we were both living in Connecticut. He was visiting from LA at the time, and I was still living in Connecticut. And we started dating, never had the idea that we would work together. Like, I was not a creative person. I was not in the creative field at all.
what'd you do before?
I was an anthropology major, so I was planning on going back to school, getting my master's, like doing all that stuff, just going into like research and all that.
And you traveled
Boring
heavy, so that's.
I did, yeah.
It meshed well when we started.
We ended up
dating.
bonding over
Okay.
like the travel and things like that. So when we started dating, actually, one of our first dates, we went to Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
Very cool.
I know, very
first
like
date,
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You
I was
went,
like,
you went crazy on that one.
Well, actually, it was Sav's idea. Yeah. It was.
I was like,
even better.
I was like, let's figure this out right off the bat. The best way to know somebody is to travel with them. So if we don't get along while we're traveling, like this isn't gonna work.
Right,
So
yeah.
I was like, I don't want to waste any time.
Yeah, and we
you
didn't
know?
kill each other on that trip.
That's got to be like a top like first date of all time, right?
It was sick. Yeah, we went for like 4 days. I used to live there a long time ago, so I knew the area pretty well, Tokyo specifically. But you had family there.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, what happened was it was on Black Friday, I think, right?
We were looking at tickets on Black Friday, and we were planning the trip for like next year. And we wanted to go to LA or like Florida, keep it within the US just to, have somewhere local and safe, I guess.
And I was living in LA at the time, but sorry, I know this, I'm doing a little side story, but we met in Connecticut where we're both from. Savannah was living there and I was there visiting. So that's how we met, and then I decided to stay for a few months.
Yeah.
So we were going to go back to LA to...
Yeah, he was going to show me around, like where he was living and LA in general. But as we were looking at prices, and it was super expensive. It was like $600 for both of us to fly to LA from New York. And we're like, okay, well, just for fun, let's see how much it would be to, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so we found $400 round trip tickets to Tokyo for both of us.
Out of New York.
New York. And we're like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it just made sense, and it was
Yeah.
just a very spontaneous.
I've always wanted to go. He's been, so we thought it was a good first time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I think
that is awesome.
It was sick. Yeah, it was definitely a very memorable. And then we worked with one of our first hotels there.
Yeah.
Which was Park Hyatt, Tokyo, where they filmed Lost in Translation, right? With Bill Murray.
Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson.
I believe so.
I think.
It's a famous hotel from that movie, or I think just famous hotel in general.
Yeah.
But I was already a year deep into working on hotel campaigns, so when we booked the ticket, I started hitting up hotels around that area in Park Hyatt, and that was the first one I think you modeled for. Because that's how it started. Savannah was modeling in the hotel campaigns, and I was just shooting. So I would bring my camera. We would do like a small Instagram, social media campaign for the hotel, and then we'd either sometimes do a trade, right, like a a free collab, or they would pay and have like a certain amount of deliverables, and then in order to save money on models or an extra model, Savannah would jump in and do a lot of the campaigns, right, and it fit my aesthetic, and that's how it all started, right? Was that, and then
so that trip basically started it all, your first date.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Basically, yeah. And then after that trip, I would jump in and model for hotels more often, or I would help with some of the campaigns. And as I became more involved, I realized that this was actually a lot of fun, and I wanted to become even further involved in the business. So that's when we decided to form Sin City Creative.
Yeah, you want to be more behind the scenes, and we just took it. It was tough to just be me, right? Like shooting everything and setting up, and like I said, like I kind of needed that ABCD in order to.
Yeah. Were you just kind of winging it before? Is that what it was? Like you were just on your own. You're just like, let's see if this works.
I mean, I had a legitimate, I was doing more editorial portraits for artists and stuff, and that was a very, I had a full team in Connecticut that was working with me. I was also living in LA at the time, but I was only focused on that because I've been in the music industry for my whole entire life. So I started off doing Warped Tour, and then it built into, I'm not a live documentary photographer. I was doing more editorial portraits for album covers and stuff. Or magazines and stuff. So I had that fully unlocked, but the hotel travel stuff and it's completely different, right? It's like I said, there's one side with editorial portraits where it's like I'm lighting stuff on fire, I'm breaking glass, and I'm doing this insane exaggerated portraits, and then the hotel stuff is so
very clean, very
polished.
Natural
it's super,
lighting and
very polished.
Like that.
It was almost like a challenge because it was so different.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed.
Like polar opposites.
Yeah.
You can be way more creative on the other stuff.
Right.
You can't light the hotel room on fire.
Right.
Well, and that was the kind of cool part about it was once I got a hang on actually doing that polished, clean aesthetic for hotels. How can I incorporate that aesthetic? Or the editorial portrait aesthetic, not burning stuff on fire, but how can I incorporate that really artistic side into the hotel stuff? And so we're constantly trying to find that right now too, because we work with a lot of artsy new hotels.
Do you find it easier with some of the more modern hotels that already have a unique feature to them? You know what I mean?
Instead of the old school 100%, right? You know what kind of changed our direction with we should incorporate our exaggerated style into the hotel stuff was it the Cosmopolitan in Vegas?
Yeah, they did a marketing promo, a TV ad where it was, you said it was a hotel room and there were just panties lying around everywhere. It was very sexy, very edgy.
Super edgy, yeah.
And not something that you would normally see for a Hilton or a Marriott or or things like that, you know.
Right.
So we saw that and we're like, oh, like, so people do want that edgier quality. They just don't know it, like, because it was a hit. Like, it was such a big,
huge
campaign.
Right when the Cosmo released, right when they came out. I'm pretty sure that was like their first promotional campaign ever.
Yeah.
Was I forget what it is. It's like One Night Stand or something like that, where, like I said, it was like a shot of like a girl's underwear on the bed, and then like the blurred out. It was done tastefully. It wasn't raunchy or anything, but
it's straight Vegas style.
It was super Vegas. That was another reason why I was like, we came. I don't want to say we came to Vegas to work with these hotels, but Vegas always had that artistic side and just more edgier side, and that's totally us, right? And we work for Marriott, and we do the very clean and polished look for certain clients, but we do love that's what we started off with,
that's where your passion lies, right? The other stuff just pays the bills. But.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah. I mean, there's just, I don't know, there's a side to it. Like I said, it's I like a challenge, so it's like when we do work for more polished, clean, hotels or tourism boards, I look at it as a challenge. So it's like I get excited about it because I'm like,
you have to train your brain to think differently.
Yeah,
almost.
I'm like, don't light this on fire.
And then you're like, wait a minute, I can add panties.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, like, I was kind of like, I moved to LA 10 years ago, or 10 years before Vegas. We've been in Vegas. What, 3 years now?
Cumulatively?
No, maybe 4 years. I don't know.
So did you go Connecticut and then you moved to LA with him, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in LA for 7 years to be exact, and then I came back. We met in 2019. So then we met in Connecticut when I was visiting family, and then COVID hit, so we stayed a little bit longer out there during that time, right after we got back from Japan. And then
how was that for business and stuff as you
COVID?
Yeah, COVID, because I don't know, this is just always a question because I'm curious on how people navigate through the
I strived
whole thing,
I strived during COVID.
Anyone that wasn't scared did.
No, I know 100%.
That's exactly what it came down to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
right.
But even then, like in the very beginning, we were doing the whole like 6 feet distance and masks.
Well, we didn't know what was happening. Yeah, and then
we didn't know what was happening.
Some of the states were like harder than others, right? Like if you didn't follow the rules in California, it would be really easy for somebody to turn you in.
Definitely.
Connecticut was harsh.
I was in Colorado and it was harsh.
And we're 45 minutes outside Manhattan, so like it was, all the highways were shut down. Everything was, and like at the time, nobody knew what was happening as far as COVID. So until we learned about it, and then I was like, oh, like I don't want to say it was a glorified flu, but it was just. It was something that I didn't want to be afraid after a while. I think a lot of people felt like they didn't want to be afraid after a long time, right?
Yeah.
And we know people that have passed away from COVID, so I definitely don't want to say it was glorified flu, but I definitely think that people were more scared than they should have been, and. But it took a while. It took the whole world a while to figure out what is going on. Is this a zombie apocalypse, or
so we didn't know like how it was transferring. So we were like sanitizing everything.
Oh my God,
sanitizing the groceries.
Literally come back from the grocery store with the bags and wiping down the bags.
Wiping down the bags with gloves.
Yeah, we.
Oh, you were way more cautious.
Oh man.
We were going.
Well, like I said,
I traveled more than I ever had that year.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Well, I think after a few months, we're like, you know what? Like, it is what it is. Like, we're not gonna let this stop. But we're also in a district that was so strict. So what happened was we almost chased the lockdown. So when it officially locked down, New York was the first one in Connecticut, and then when we moved, over the summer, we went to LA, and LA was a little bit late to the lockdown, or I don't know if like the cases were starting to spread over there.
They had a second lockdown.
Oh, they had, okay, was
so
okay. That was
they locked down like in March for a few months, and then people would be going outside and be interacting because they thought you're outside, so it's fine.
Right.
And then they started getting more cases again. So when we moved in October, they went through a second lockdown because cases were popping back up. And so they were just being like...
Wait, as soon as we got to LA, everything was quiet for a while when we were there.
Which was actually kind of nice.
Do you think some of that might have been just population based too? I mean...
Yeah.
That whole like...
The lockdowns?
East Coast is like so compact with people. And,
Yeah,
I know. I think East Coast is the only one that didn't lock down twice.
No, they were actually.
So I don't. Yeah, I was actually surprised. I don't know what the right way to do it was. To just keep everything open. Like I said, there's so many different conspiracies and like what we could have done. But for us to be locked down in Connecticut and then it didn't have to go back to another lockdown. I know California did the multiple lockdowns. I don't know about Vegas, but like I said, we chased it. So we went to LA. LA lockdown for the year that basically the whole year that we were there. Then and a year later we came to Vegas, and then I'm pretty sure we were just getting here mid lockdown because I remember
that's when everything started
is it just opening
back up because I started working at a restaurant where I still had to wear a mask.
Right, so LA and Vegas shut down at the same time for the second part.
Yeah.
Vegas usually follows whatever LA does.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, and then we didn't know what was going on, and then I remember even like the shots. So in order to travel, we had to get the booster shots, right? And we would, oh my God, they had us down. The first one I was so nervous about, and the only reason why I got it is because we were traveling. So we were supposed to go to Italy that summer. And we had
because out of the country. I was wondering what you meant by like traveling, because I was like, I traveled a lot.
No, yeah, out of the country.
I didn't get it at all.
Yeah, you had to get it, and we went to this abandoned church. Right? Was it an abandoned church? Maybe it was an operational church, but it felt abandoned.
It was in LA, and they had these like setups going.
In Compton, it was in Compton, like
Compton.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be why it was abandoned.
Yeah, it was super sketchy.
But it was very sketchy. Like LA did it a little weird. You had to sign up online, and they would like basically tell you like assign you a location, or you had to pick a location and try to like get that time as
and we got like
it was almost like a
and you wait weeks, but we had a I don't want to say trial, but it was like before anybody else can just go to CVS and get it. Yes. But it was like we wanted to get it fast because we wanted to leave.
It was the beginning of it, like the shot coming out.
Very beginning.
So like
I don't even have a clue how that whole process went because I refused to.
Yeah,
so like
for sure.
I didn't even pay attention.
We wanted to. I don't know if we would have done it if it wasn't for us having to travel.
Yeah.
I was trying to get out of the country as soon as we could. So I'm like, I don't know. I've done so much dumb stuff as a kid with as far as like partying that I was just like, you know what? I wasn't afraid.
Like my body could take it.
I was like, you know what? If this is what takes me down, this is it, right? I just wanted to travel because we've been standstill for so long, and so yeah, we ran to go get it, and it was super sketchy, but I'm still.
I was traveling during that time because I don't know, like it's kind of such a weird time going out of the country, right? Like everything's so unknown. Nobody's really like everyone's up in the air.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of nice actually. People like.
It was quiet.
It was quiet.
Yeah. We like quiet.
People were keeping their distance. Like people were wearing masks. Like especially on planes and things like that. We're constantly like hearing people cough. And,
that's
like,
the one place I can get down with the whole mask thing is on planes because I get sick every time I travel.
Yeah.
And people are disgusting and people are coughing, open hand.
But during COVID, they were cleaning them. They don't clean them anymore.
What,
but
the planes?
They were like sanitizing.
Oh, right. Now they're actually,
They're not doing that anymore, by
sure.
the way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it was just, I didn't mind that, the distance, and we didn't mind it. I was just,
traveling was great during that time. I just didn't know how it was going out of the country.
Yeah.
But like traveling in general, like we went all over the place.
Yeah,
like,
there was no traffic, and it was great. I definitely.
No, it was great. And when we got overseas, because they had such heightened restrictions for people traveling, like you had to have the booster within a certain amount of months and things like that, and you had to prove all that. It was
the boosters were even like. It was that strict. Like
the second shot was
up until a couple years ago. They said you had to. Certain countries said that you had to have the vaccine within a couple of months before you were traveling to that country.
Right. So we would we would be like hitting points where like I think it was like a few days before the trip. Like we're like rushing to get the booster. Remember, because it was like just hitting that area of like. During the trip, it would have expired. Then we risked the chance of getting stuck in that country. So then we had to get the booster right before we left the U. Yeah, it was a pain.
Oh, wow.
It was a pain. It was
So, like, if you're in another country and it was coming up due, did you have to get it in that country? Like, could you do that, or like, how did that work?
I think
like,
so.
how do you get home if like?
I don't think so. I think that they were, they were lenient in regards to that. It was just more so like if you were entering the country, you had to make sure that you were vaccinated.
But you can go home and it's fine.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really remember, right? I mean,
well, because the U.S. didn't have any restrictions.
I thought you had
as,
to
like,
get it.
back.
I thought you had to get it over there.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Okay. I guess we never ran into that issue, right?
No.
I just remember one time we were rushing to get the booster before we left.
Yes. That's for sure.
I feel like because of all this restrictions, there probably wasn't as many people going out of the country. Like, I don't know many people. Like, you guys are filling me in for the first time, like, on how all that worked.
Yeah. It was a pain. It wasn't, besides, like, the actual traveling, it was easier for us to travel around. And I didn't mind that part of it. But I think as far as, like, I didn't love that I had to inject myself with something, a booster, in order to travel. Especially once, you know, we got a year into it and I started learning more about it. I was just like, oh man, like I got to do this again, you know?
Thankfully they lifted all those restrictions, so there's no like requirement anymore.
Right.
But
I'm very happy we're past that, and I know COVID's like still like there's new variants and all this stuff like coming out.
Nobody gets sick like they did.
No, 100%. You know, but it was a very I can't believe that we lived through that. You know, like I don't ever want to go through that again. You know, just like having to deal with, because there was a lot of downsides of it too. Even though I strived financially and work wise through it, I don't know. It just a lot of things didn't go back the same. You know,
they still haven't.
Right, they still haven't. Literally, I don't know if they ever will. I don't know if we'll see it.
You still look around and there's people wearing masks.
Yeah.
And it was proven that they don't work.
What cracks me up is when people are wearing the mask in the car by themselves.
Oh my God, they're still doing that. I still see
crazy.
that. And I just look over and I'm just like, oh my God, are you
See, that's where it gets. Now I get the whole like I said, I understand the mask thing, and because we travel so much, the whole like if somebody wears a mask on the plane, I get that, because like I get sick on the plane all the time and people are just disgusting, but I don't it just makes me laugh when you see somebody in the car and you're just like,
I've always thought that was weird. Like from the beginning, I'm just like, I just
strange.
don't. What is in your car?
People
just
I think people they just forget, right? It became such a norm that I don't know. I'd never met anybody that did it. I've seen it and I just never got to.
I don't miss it. I would always get the mask acne like right here around my face.
I did everything I could not to wear one. Not even kidding. I wouldn't, like, I still won't go to restaurants that try to make me put it on to go sit at a table. Like, I won't.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, I won't go back to those restaurants because to me it's just pure stupidity. Like,
right. No, I'm glad those days are over. Definitely miss those days. So.
It was interesting, but it's cool that you guys were still able to do business during that time. So like when you were traveling abroad to like go, were you still doing business in those countries, or like?
Yeah, that's why we were traveling.
Yeah, that was why I didn't know if you. Like I said, I just traveled.
The only tough part was we had certain regulations as far as hiring models, or if Savannah were in the shots, the hotels were especially hotels, they were very strict on mask wearing policies. So, and we also had to do campaigns with the mask to show, like, because nobody knew when it was going to leave. So it just made it interesting as far as our artistic, right? Like, but also wearing masks on set.
They were able to take them off for like the filming part, like the actors or the mask.
But they had to get tested. There was a certain like code that you needed to go through, regulations to go through in order to make sure that model was good, right? So
I totally forgot about all that.
Yeah, there was like a whole thing, you know.
Just, like,
Netflix was still doing that in 2022, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like on a background person, you know, on one of the TV series they did here. And, like, they were, like, trying to be super strict with the mask thing. Again, I fought it, and I got in trouble.
Where was it?
It was at the Rio is where we were filming, but they filmed at a couple different spots.
Because when was this?
Or no, it was Dre's. Sorry, it was Dre's.
Because we were on a TV show. I don't remember the show. Savannah was one of the... You ended up getting a certain part. Do you remember the show?
I was just one of the background people. All I had to do was just, like, walk.
But where was it? That was at
Spearmint Rhino.
No, it wasn't Rhino.
No.
It was
Sapphires.
Oh, okay.
But it was for a crime show.
Oh, okay.
But they were doing it at.
That was there was a crime show.
Was
I don't know what
you were in?
It might have been. I don't know. But it was at Dre's was where I was at.
Okay. Because I know they filmed different places. This is like 2 years ago.
They were on the same show.
We might be.
Right.
But it's funny because like they were like, well, we're doing this one to like the next few days or whatever. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not playing these games.
Yeah, we've never done something like that before, right? We just got hit up for it, and
just
financially it was really they were taking care of us. So I was like, all right, let's do it. But it was like
you were like my manager, because they pulled me aside at one point and they were like, okay, like we want you to do this walking.
No,
role
she had
where
a
your
bigger
face is gonna
scene.
where your face is going to be on camera.
It was
and Chris
you
is like,
yeah.
okay, like, how much more? Like, he's
No.
like, come on, my client here, you know, needs to be compensated.
What happened was they pulled Savannah aside with 2 other people that were going to have a bigger part instead of, we were in a scene with like 60 people. So, you know, it was a set price and it was a 5-minute thing, but then they pulled Savannah up, you know, on the side with 2 other girls and they were like, you have a specific scene to walk through a hallway with the lead actor. And they were trying to get away with just the same pay as the other one. And I was like, no, if it's a bigger scene, you should get paid more, right? So like, I went up to the producer and I was like, yeah, we either walk or like we're gonna get paid more. Like if this is a bigger scene, that's how it works in TV.
So you're lucky you had him there. I didn't have
yeah,
anybody there. And I got the same thing that happened. It was like a pool scene and like you had to walk up and like hang out with the bad guy.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with the Russians. That was fun. It was fun, but like, yeah, it didn't negotiate anything.
I wonder if it was the same show. That's
wonder.
Insane. That's like so funny that was what was that, 2 years ago?
Just
about.
Think so.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah. It probably was. It was just 2 different days.
We never saw it. Yeah, we should have got the name. Yeah, we didn't. It was just,
I can't even remember the name.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah.
What?
So funny. So anyways with COVID, how we really strive with COVID was, so I was back visiting my parents. My parents were actually, so we're from Connecticut. They were moving down to Charleston, and that's when me and Savannah met. Savannah was working at a wine bar down the road from me, and we're from my parents' house. And when I decided to stay, I stayed because I could have gone back, but then when we met, it was so new in the relationship that I didn't want to give up everything. So I decided to stay in Connecticut, see where this went between us, and then
so there must have been sparks right away, right? If you wanted to stay and figure out what was going on,
for sure,
right? Like it was like something you just knew there was something there.
Yeah, and it was
like usually when you first meet somebody, you don't necessarily like want to stay for 3 months to inconvenience yourself.
Yeah, no, there was definitely.
We had been talking for months before that, but casually,
online,
we were just chatting, being like, hey, how you doing? Not really diving further. And then I think in October, that's when we were like, all right, like maybe we should meet up and like see where this goes. And then we started hanging out more and getting to know each other. And then that's when we went to Japan.
Yeah, we were both out of a long-term. I mean, you were in a 5-year, 6-year relationship, right?
Yeah.
And me too, same thing. So we were just out that year. So we didn't want to rush anything. We kind of, and then COVID really was the sign of like this, because we ended up just getting trapped in the same house together.
Yeah.
Right. And then you weren't working. I was working out of my parents' house. So it actually kind of transformed my business in a sense with the editorial side, because I probably shot at the house, like I would say that summer, oh man, like 100 different times.
Yeah.
For portrait photography, like creative portrait photography with album covers, and I was able to make the house. I used every corner of the house to make it look different. But like I said, I always thought as a photographer you had to shoot at specific locations for portrait, work, and and then I just, with creative lighting and different ideas within my home, I was able to, I probably could have shot my parents' house for the next 5 years after that, and always made it look different.
Yeah.
Where we didn't need a studio, we didn't need a specific location to make an idea come to life.
But it's a vision, right? Like
Right.
you can adjust any location to look like the vision you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just about being creative. And if you already got that crazy creative mind, right?
So we talk all the time, like we use really cheap lights sometimes. So we have expensive equipment, but what we like to talk about too, and we like to teach other photographers, is you don't need, and just content creators in general, you don't need expensive equipment to make something come out awesome, right? I mean, and we we use these $5 little Amazon lights on $10,000 production shoots before, like, and the flashlight, right? I wish I knew the company.
You don't need the next best thing. You don't need to be following the trends of like all this crazy equipment and things like that. And it's so easy to kind of fall into that rabbit hole because there's the next best cell phone coming out and things like that. Like it's so easy to want more. But we
I
had
use an older camera, right? I mean, like we
yeah,
like
your camera's like what, 10 years old or something?
more like 10, 15 years old.
Like,
So.
you're talking about budget, guys. This is
Yeah, no, right, and like I said, like even like
Like I was
before we
saying, it
talked, like the
looks
quality
great.
of this podcast in general, like,
Yeah.
and I mean, it still looks great, but I'm just saying, like, you can make do with what you have. It's just how you use it, and
100%.
you know, it's yeah, we don't.
just be creative with it.
And
It doesn't
sometimes
have to be-
sometimes we need the expensive equipment. It just depends on what we need it for.
Mhm.
And there's two different type of clients too that we have. We have clients that want the lights and flat, you know, the crazy setup, and they're paying for the experience.
Glamour and
Yeah.
all of that.
And
they
then
they want that full experience.
Yeah, they're paying for the experience rather than the outcome. And we work with a lot of rappers, and I think a lot of the rappers that we do music videos and photo shoots for, that was more on that end, right?
Yeah.
Flashing, like, you know, get the Ferrari for the shoots and stuff like that, right? And then we have clients that just care about the outcome.
Yeah.
You know, we have clients that care about both, right? And I think a lot of the time they obviously,
But sometimes those bigger experiences still don't require a lot like expensive like stuff, right? Like maybe a car rental, but like
no, right, but all the
might
expensive
be,
equipment.
but
I
the
mean,
equipment to set up and actually shoot, you probably can be a little more simple with, right?
So for example, like we use monitors on set sometimes for big commercial, big production shoots. Sometimes we don't need them, but we have them out just to make it look a little bit more, right? I'm trying to think what other equipment that we sometimes set out certain.
We have the full like gimbal setup with the handlebars and the mic and the monitor and things like that. So sometimes we have that whole setup, but most of the time we really just shoot handheld. Like you don't really need all that.
I'll have the monitor on top of the camera that's huge, and it's really for the person behind me to see it, but I'm really just looking at the small LED screen that's that's on the camera, because that's all I really need, and it's just to make it look bigger than it is, right? Sometimes I do need it, and that's why we have it. But sometimes we know, especially with a new client or a client that we've worked with before, that they, especially like when there's other partners there, people like to show off, especially when like one company is paying for another company, and they're like, they want to show that like, oh, like, we have the rock star photographers with all the expensive equipment.
Yeah.
It just just make it look like there's more than what there is, kind of, even if you're not using it, because it looks like a full production.
Yeah.
And usually once we do one job for somebody, we slowly wiggle our way in where it's like, I don't have to bring that one thing I didn't use next time and start to lessen, because I don't want to bring more stuff to the production than I need, right? I mean, there's no point. I have everything usually, jam-packed in the car in case I need it, but there's no reason to set it up and do all this unless I feel like I absolutely may need it during that production shoot. But yeah, some of it is like we have certain, we have a 20-foot, 30-foot scrim, which is like a big diffuser, like these lights, right? That we shine lights through in our studio in Connecticut. That we sometimes just have out. That we're not going to use that unless we're outside, but we have it set up inside. But we do use everything. Like I said, we never buy stuff that we won't use. But it's always it's just it just depends on who we're working with.
Situational, right?
It is.
Depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Now, how does it work when you travel? So, like, you have a studio in Connecticut. I'm assuming you have stuff that you leave there.
Yeah.
And then you have the studio here, I assume, right?
We have our apartment studio.
Okay.
So
you have some here.
We usually rent. Yeah, when we have when we do
rent.
stuff, we rent a lot. Yeah, in Vegas, but we have a specific one that we go through in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about when you travel, like, anywhere else? So if you go out of the country or where else, how do you do that? Do you rent? Do you bring stuff?
It depends on the scope of the project, I would say.
We don't do portraiture work in overseas, right? I mean, it's
no, we never do any
hotel.
editorial overseas, so we don't really need like the big lights and all the things like that. It's mostly just our video camera, photo camera, and then like a couple little handheld lights.
Is it mostly like the hotels and stuff when you go like abroad, like?
Yeah, it's all tourism boards and hotels.
Okay. Yeah, so most of that is natural light anyway, so we don't need like anything crazy.
I mean, it depends.
Okay.
We've traveled. I mean, we work for a lot of drink companies, where a drink company will want us to, or brand. So we work with this company called Thursday Boots, where we bring their products with us overseas, and then we photograph ourselves or with models in luxury locations. Not just luxury, but just certain destinations, right? We went to Switzerland last year, and we did a whole campaign for Thursday Boots out in the Swiss Alps. So stuff like that. Yeah. So it's not just hotel and tour, but that's 90% of it when we do travel overseas. Yeah.
Very, very simple stuff, really, like when it comes to like equipment then.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
we try to keep it as light as possible because I think Chris is starting to get back problems.
Oh gosh.
Definitely. Yeah.
If it don't roll, I don't want it.
My bag's got to be. It's insane.
It's heavy.
Insane. We rent a lot of stuff out. Yeah, we also don't like. We own a lot of equipment, but we also. I probably have like, I don't know, like for my photo, because we have two different cameras. We have the video camera, photo camera. I'm not a big equipment guy. I know what works, but I was never, because we know a lot of other content creators that are so like, they have to have I know what we talked about before. They have to have the new next big thing and like the new camera and the new lens and stuff. I only buy equipment based on if I need it or not buy it, rent it. So unless I'm using it all the time and it makes more sense to buy it, but most of the time I'm using so much different equipment that we're just renting, online. So we use this company called borrowlenses.com. I think they changed lensrentals.com in the US, and then we have another company overseas. So if I need a specific lens or a drone or this or that, we'll rent it for that project.
How long does it typically take to rent and then get the equipment? You know what I mean? Can you rent it the same day?
Oh,
with,
yeah,
an online place, I don't know how that works.
If you pay enough, they'll have it to you within the hour.
Yeah, really?
They'll send it on a bald eagle. Yeah. I don't know, but no, I do know that you can get it next day. I think that's the fastest is overnight.
Okay.
Yeah, just overseas is a little bit longer because a lot of places don't have we'll be out in we worked on a campaign in Umbria, Italy, and remember that we had to get a drone.
Oh, we had to get a drone.
We lost
charger.
We lost our bags. The airline lost our bags going to Italy, and then our drone charger, which we never put equipment in our checked-in bag, but for the charger I was like, screw it, and I put it in. And we lost our bags, and we drove to Umbria, Italy, out in the middle of nowhere. And they don't have Amazon out there, and the next town over did.
Well, they have Amazon, but it only delivers to certain areas of Italy, and where we were staying, it was so rural, because the roads are so old that they're just tiny, so cars can't. You have to have a specific car to get through them. And so we were out in middle of nowhere land, and the Amazon driver couldn't get to us, so we had to try to figure out a way to get to him.
Thank God our host at our Airbnb ended up understanding English enough to know what we were talking about, and actually drove an hour to the next city to pick it up. And it was so cute. Yeah, it was this super old little Italian woman, 80 years old. She was the cutest, and she was
she was so excited to have us there. She was they're my first Americans.
Yeah,
staying at my place.
I
so freaking
we like traveling to places that Americans, and it's just not touristic, right? It's a pretty good place if the Italians or whatever country in that that nationality goes to that area. So Umbria was
for their vacation.
For their vacation, sorry. So it's
getaway,
right. So Umbria was a place that a lot of Italians would go on vacation to look at history, which is Assisi. I think that's Saint Francis, I believe, but it's it was a castle area in the middle of nowhere in Italy, and so we like stuff like that. We do travel a lot to the touristic areas. So for example, we go to Santorini all the time. That's a heavy touristic area, but I don't know. There's something special about both, because when you do find the local areas in these touristic cities, there's something special about that too. But then I love
and you
going.
get to meet the locals, and they show you around, and most of the time they're super friendly, and they just want to have a good time with you, so that's a lot of fun.
It's a little stressful going to a place that isn't tourist friendly. Not tourist friendly, but people aren't traveling there that are Americans or from the UK a lot. There's a lot of stress that comes involved with that, for sure.
Well, especially if there's a language barrier, right? That definitely can.
We did the whole boot of Italy 2 years ago.
So we started in Florence, and then we drove all the way down to Naples, and there were so many different experiences along the way, and it was so unique. There were so many times when we would get stuck somewhere and like at a toll, and I would be pressing the help button and trying to explain to them, I don't know how this works, I thought I paid, like what's going on, and they'd be like, sorry, no English, and hang up. And
we caused a
like,
traffic jam on the highway in Italy one time. Yeah, like there had to be like 30-40 cars behind us. People were getting out of their cars yelling at us in Italian, and
oh my god.
My buddy was driving. Matt was driving.
I was driving.
Oh, you were driving. My best friend was with us, and I have a group of guys that I grew up with, 5 best friends, and usually one of them will come every other year, right? They'll kind of change on who travels with us, and Matt was with us. And,
yeah, Matt's traveled with us for the past couple of years.
You're right, he's come, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh my god, and you know, that was, talk about like,
oh my god.
They didn't speak any English at the toll, so we don't know what to do. Luckily, I think like there was enough screaming through the intercom of Italian that, I don't know, because the people behind us were talking to the people in the intercom, because, you know, nobody's understanding anybody, except for, so they ended up opening it, but they weren't opening it for shit. Like, they literally wouldn't open it. I'm like, they didn't speak English. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
You have to pay. Don't speak English. Bye. Like.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So stressful.
Oh man, super stressful. Yeah. So we've encountered a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, traveling is not for the faint of heart.
I can see that being difficult. Even if you like learned a language, like if you know Spanish and you go to Mexico, there's still going to be like you have the slang and then you have like the proper Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
there's always going to be.
And there's just always like little different like cultural things that like sometimes people take great offense to, and especially in Italy. Oh my gosh, our friend Matt asked for an espresso before his dinner came out, and that was like a big no-no, and he was and the waiter was like, no, and like
like full on like stuck his finger out and was like, you don't do that
he was
here.
Just like, no.
Yeah, that was in Umbria. That was in like one of those. Because I feel like when you're in like Rome or you're in, you know, Athens or like places that are more, you know,
like, they're American.
Right,
like
stupid Americans.
You know.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, but like certain places, I mean, that's kind of the fun of it. Like going to these places where you're learning what's, you know, appropriate and what's not, right? Who knew ordering a coffee after 10 a.m. was
before dinner.
Or before dinner.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It was a big no-no.
I think it's even
I know,
crazy,
right?
insane. Yeah.
It's funny. So I did a podcast with another lady that does. She basically goes like nomad, like abroad.
Yeah.
And like she basically coaches people on learning how to do that. And she takes them with her and all of that stuff. And she said there was like a crazy situation where she was like on a bus and they pulled her off the bus and took her to an ATM. They didn't let her grab her stuff or anything, didn't tell her anything because obviously there's a language barrier. Brought her to an ATM because she didn't have like extra money because you had to pay like more than just the ticket that you got.
Oh my God.
And it was like, yeah, it sounded so scary. I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, no.
Insane.
Luckily, we've been the only time that like we had. Yeah, I don't know. We've had our car messed with. That was the only time.
Oh yeah, we had our car keyed.
Right.
Oh my God, they keyed your car.
Yeah, some local kids like keyed our car. Yeah, and that was the.
Do you know who did it?
No.
They said we were in Tuscany and like it was just they said a bunch of local kids.
Yeah, we were at a local restaurant and like
we didn't park weird. Like we didn't, we're in Tuscany, so it's not like we ran anybody off the road or like.
Just some kids just being kids.
But we're the only car that got keyed.
Because they knew you're American.
I thought that because it was like you were in this like restaurant and we were definitely the only Americans there. And I think the waiter even said like maybe it's because you guys are foreigners, right? I don't know if it's just American in general.
Yeah, but, not from here or whatever.
Yeah, it was just
you stood out enough.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
And it looked like a rental,
For sure.
We've had issues. I mean, we've had a bunch. Like we've gotten Mexico, right? We could tell the Mexico story.
We almost got detained in Mexico.
Yeah,
that'd be so scary.
Well, we did get detained. God. We didn't almost get detained. We just didn't go to jail.
Well, no, they pulled us to the side. Yeah, so I guess technically we did get detained and we almost got arrested, but they pulled us to the side. We had a layover in Cancun and we were so exhausted. Oh my God. It was a very long day. But we're leaving the airport to go to our hotel and we have all our camera equipment with us and some of the boxes look like a little sketchy. They're big foam boxes, so they can kind of look like gun cases a little bit. So it definitely.
Yeah, big Pelican cases.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy. So the Mexican police took one look at us. And they were like, "Come here, we need to do a bag search on you." And
I don't even know if it was police. I think it was like military because they were like full camouflage, like the big guns.
Would make sense.
Or military police or like something.
Yeah.
But yeah, they instantly pointed us out, and I'm obviously like, I don't know. Like I have full head tattoos, and when I'm in my airport attire, I'm like, I don't know. I look a little bit more rough than normal. And
you just look like trouble.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
it's okay. My husband does too. He has tattoos and a bald head, and he just stands out everywhere we go.
Yeah, getting my whole head done was like a blessing and a curse. Just because we definitely I definitely get more eyes than normal, right?
Yeah.
Especially in other countries.
Well, this is like the second day I got my whole head done.
Oh my god.
So it was just like perfect timing, right? It was just like, so they pointed at us, obviously with these cases. I had like my head like freshly, and I had like a black hoodie on and black pants and sunglasses on.
You did not do yourself justice, did you? You made it worse.
Yeah, literally. And they pulled us in a back room, and what happened, long story short, was we were going to a wellness hotel. We bought CBD gummies because we don't smoke. So we bought CBD gummies that don't have THC in them, but they have the marijuana leaf on the gummies. I'm a very, like we were talking about before, I'm a very spontaneous person. The head tattoo is spontaneous. That was within a day. So anyways, where I'm going with this is with this hotel. We're going to work for this hotel for 3 weeks. And Sav's like, you need to learn a way to relax, because like I just can't relax. Like I get panic attacks like sometimes like in a massage chair. I cannot sit still for the life of me. I need to constantly be doing something, working. ADHD.
I relate.
Right?
I totally
get it. And so Sav's like, let's buy CBD, and like we're gonna finally relax. You're gonna take enough to like chill. And
it works too. CBD does chill you out.
Right.
Yeah.
So the
without like that like marijuana.
Exactly.
Right.
And I can't smoke anymore because I just get full anxiety from it. So my spontaneous self bought $1,500 worth of CBD, and which I shouldn't have. Yeah, I just kind of went a little bit too.
Because he was like, I'm gonna try everything. Like he bought gummies.
I'm gonna take as many
and I'm gonna bring it all with.
So I'm bringing $1,500. We're like spacing it out between the two suitcases. It has all these pot plants on the gummies,
well,
right?
It didn't make it look any better by spacing it out.
No, and of course I didn't know, but it's legal. So it's like so what happened was we were flying to Aruba to work for a hotel. Our flight got delayed, so then we stopped in Mexico. And it's legal to bring it to Aruba, but it's not legal to bring it into Mexico CBD.
Really? You can't CBD?
Yeah.
Bring in
any marijuana kind of
the amount
product.
of illegal drugs that come over the border the opposite way.
Oh yeah, well this is where the story gets better.
That's the thing.
So
oh my god. So when we were leaving the airport, like they pulled us aside, they wanted to do an extra search on us, and so they find all these CBD products with the marijuana leaf on it.
And like $3,000 in cash because we were gonna transfer it into the local currency. So we just looked like we're dealing, weed.
You had the look and everything.
It looked bad. Okay, it looked really bad.
It did look bad.
So they were like, all right, we're searching the rest of your stuff. They confiscated all the CBD, and they were basically like, look, either you go to jail tonight or we take this stuff and you can leave. And we're like, take it.
They had to bring somebody out to drive like special for us because nobody spoke English in the Cancun airport. So they had to bring like a supervisor, but also like he spoke English, and he had to come out. And I thought we were going to get arrested that night, but this took hours, like us being detained in this little room. And we had to explain to them,
we're like, look, we have a flight leaving tomorrow. We're not staying here. Like, we're not
We weren't supposed to even supposed to be there. And honestly, if our layover is an hour later, we would have been fine because it gets transferred to Aruba. But the fact that we had a 24-hour layover, or not even 10 hours, it was like Cancun is weird. You have to leave the airport after a certain time. I don't think the airport stays open.
Yeah.
And that was the whole issue, was because we're leaving the airport. So yeah, they came and they made us throw it all out.
Yeah.
Luckily they didn't keep the cash, which I thought they might take the cash, but they didn't. But they had to throw out all the CBD, which was the least of my concern at that point. So I'm like, let's just get to Aruba. We already had to, because we were flying to Panama next, and like this transfer.
It was a crazy layover.
It was a thunderstorm, so it's like we were supposed to go from Miami to Aruba. Instead, we had to go from Miami to Mexico to Panama to Aruba. It was like it was like 2 or 3 days.
So we had another like 18 hours to go before we got to Aruba. So we were just exhausted.
You could have used the CBD at
We
that
could
point.
have used it.
Definitely.
We would have needed it. But so the next day, we're going to check in at the airport, and we're going through security. It's this dinky little security, like metal
It is like
detector.
rusted and bent and everything. It's hilarious.
They don't check anything. They don't check our bags, nothing.
Oh yeah, you keep your shoes on and walk right through. But we've
Yeah.
been through a lot of countries that are like that.
Yeah.
But
it's so we get on the flight. We're sitting in our seats, and we start, chatting with the guy that's next to us as we do. And he's telling us how he's from the area. He's from Cancun, and we were telling him about how we almost got arrested, like coming in. And he was like, "Oh, they tried to arrest you guys for that?" And he pulls out a switchblade out of his pocket. And he's like, "I walked through."
it's not like a little one. It is like
this.
one of those, like the blade was this big.
Oh my god.
And the nicest guy ever. It wasn't like
Super
he was.
nice.
And yeah, he was just like, oh, like they don't care what leaves.
They just care about what comes in.
Yeah, and that's
insane.
crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
So, yeah, he was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry that happened to you." I'm like, "Thanks, buddy."
Oh man, yeah, that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Luckily, no airport incidences since then.
At least
but
you haven't gotten arrested.
Definitely, with that 100%. I was
Yeah.
worried.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything like let alone going to jail in the U.S. Like just being arrested overseas. I don't know what we would have done.
That's scary. That's scary too.
For sure, especially in Mexico.
Yeah.
They don't mess around in Mexico at all.
No.
So, I'm
It's not
glad,
like here either, where we have like the jails and then we have prisons. It's like basically prison, I think, there, right? Like,
Right.
You
And
just
Yeah.
go straight to prison.
Yeah. I think there's only like one.
Straight to prison.
You don't get like a nice holding cell or anything. You just go.
You're lucky
right
you got
there.
the room to talk.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine like the different traveling experiences, just especially with what you guys do. Like you have to communicate with so many people in different countries and hope that they speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so the best part about what we do is because we work at the hotels, we do meet a lot of the locals that live on the island, right? And the best way to go out is go out and drink with them and party with them. I feel like you just go right into the culture that way.
That's the second time I've heard that, is to like be where the locals are.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
So every hotel we've ever worked for the most part, is we meet staff because we have to work with them, and they take us out at night, and we go out to the bars and to the nightclubs with them. And it's one of the best ways to just get to know the people that you're working with. But also like just learn about the culture and just you meet people at the bar, and then introductions get met there, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's so much better than the tourist spots. I hate.
Oh
the
yeah,
tourist
for sure.
spots.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of like the people walking around just.
No, I mean $45 cocktails, and we're listening to the same music that I can hear in Vegas.
Right.
I want to go
same experience in a hotel here.
Right. I want to go to a place with like sticky floors and no
Authenticity.
Yeah, no toilet seat, right? And we go all the local spots have no toilet seats. We've realized that. I don't know.
How many times have you almost fell in? Let's be honest.
Oh my god.
We gotta get really good at squatting.
We went to this one spot, and it was literally just a hole in the floor. That was the toilet. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
Let me figure this out.
Yeah, you just hold it until you get home.
Yeah. It happens.
But yeah, no, I've always thought, even come to Vegas, like we get such a, we're very blessed. We get such a awesome experience, just super catered to. And I think once you're in Vegas, like you never really have to pay for drinks again. Everything's VIP and backstage, and especially in our, what we do, working with the DJs and stuff, like we're getting some of the coolest experiences every single night. But there's something special, and it kind of reminds us from back home about the sticky floors, the dive bars, like going to see a shitty little rock band. We live right next to the Sand Dollar, and sometimes we like going to the Sand Dollar and just, and not say Sand Dollar is a shitty little bar. I think
I've never even been there.
Oh, it's great. It's like, it's great. It's
super cool.
It is super cool. And
We don't drink, so like we've been to very few bars.
Right. Yeah, it's just a lot of cool. Like we have friends out here that go to pool halls, and they go to ping ball. What is it? Ping ball.
Ping pong?
Not ping pong. What are the machines called? pinball machine. So there's pinball tournaments out here, and I'm like, what is that?
There's tournaments for
There's tournaments, but there's halls out here.
Yeah.
There's full halls where people like congregate and they meet up and they play. And a lot of our sober friends go to these things.
That is super cool. It's like a big warehouse, and it's
just
just
something to
a bunch
get
of
out
arcade
and, you know,
machines and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's super cool.
But I think those are some of the most like just fun. They're just
because there's so much more
random.
to do than just the Strip, and
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
that's what a lot of people don't realize about Vegas is you have so much more life outside of the Strip, and
food's better too.
Food's
so much
good.
better. Yeah, food is
And cheaper.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
we live on the Strip, so we're actually thinking about leaving the Strip, but we've been on the Strip for 4 years now.
Yeah.
So
It might be convenient for you guys with like the travel. And...
Yeah.
It is, yeah, but I think for the price that we pay for a penthouse, like we could have a house, and I'm constantly fighting with that, right? Is like, should I get the house? But then we're leaving so much. But it's just difference of space too. Like we have a pretty spacious place. I think it's like 1,800 square feet, but I could get 3 times that space for the same price, but more upkeep and I mean, there's something a little badass about waking up, and we have a wraparound balcony that faces down the Strip, and we can just wake up and look at the sunrise or sunset of the Strip, and it's
my only thought is like groceries, like.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a huge pain when you go to Costco. And
Yeah,
20
for
trips
sure.
And bring a cart.
Yeah,
literally, that's what we have.
Yeah, we definitely have to go a little out of our way for all that stuff, but
it's cool. Yeah, I mean, and when people come to visit us, they're like, wow, like but they don't get to. I love that side of Vegas, and people always looked at me like we were crazy when we said we were moving to Vegas. I thought we were crazy when we
everyone
decided.
does. I think everyone does because all they have in mind is the Strip.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They
partying.
don't realize that there's so much more to it. And like, not only that, like what we love about Vegas is there's stuff within a couple hours on every direction.
Yes.
So you can go to California, you can go to Utah, you can go to Arizona, and all of it's so close and there's such cool things. That's why we moved.
And the flights out of Vegas are great. Like it's so cheap. I think the hotels
and the airport.
Yes, the airport's great.
The airport's fantastic.
I think the hotels keep the prices down on the flights because they're trying to bring that traffic in. So every time we fly to JFK every other month, it is under $100. To LA is nothing, right? Like, but we just drive at that point 3 hours away.
I could have had like $25 tickets to Arizona.
We go to Scottsdale all the time and like super cheap to Scottsdale, but everything is drivable. I like that about it. We'll go to Scottsdale, we'll go to Los Angeles. We just came back 2 days ago from Paso Robles, California, which is where we were the last month for a job up there. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so pretty. Even going to Utah, right? We've gone to Utah a few times. Up to Denver wasn't even a bad drive. We drove to Denver one time.
Denver's a beautiful drive because you go through, all of Utah, which is crazy.
It looks like it looks like at Mars.
Yeah.
So
Have you guys been to Moab?
No.
It literally looks like Mars. Like some of like the rocks and oh my god, it's beautiful.
We went through Zion. Right? Am I saying it right?
Zion, yeah.
Zion. We went through Zion. We didn't stop. We wanted to spend a weekend there. That's on the bucket list.
Bryce Canyon's right there too, which is really cool.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, we gotta explore more. Like I want to see like the actual national parks that are close.
It's even going like an hour north or something. Like the environment just completely changes.
Even like over by Reno, like there's some what's the lake up there?
Tahoe.
Tahoe. Also Yosemite. I know these are farther places, but
they're worth it.
Yeah, I've only seen sequoias. I've been to the Red Forest, the Sequoia Redwood Forest. I think that's called.
Yeah, we went up there. What was that last year?
Insane, absolutely insane. That was before we started dating, but yeah, we just gotta explore.
The other girlfriend.
Yeah, it was the other girlfriend. Yeah.
At least you didn't mistake it, right?
This is the side girlfriend. I'm sorry to tell you. Yeah, we'll see it soon, baby. I promise. We'll see it.
But we did like basically went up the coast to the bottom part of Oregon.
Cool.
Which was really cool. But like I want to do the rest of like the whole Pacific coast because you get into Washington and the rest of Oregon.
We wanted to do the PCH all the way up to Washington. I've never been to Washington. That's I would love to. We've been to almost every state except for Washington, right? Just about.
Except a lot of like the upper north,
East Coast too. like I used to have a house in Maine, and like Maine is one of the most beautiful.
I want to go to Maine.
Incredible.
I don't like anything else about the East Coast. No offense.
Yeah.
I just don't
No,
like it.
it's okay. That's why we came on
That's
this
why we
side.
moved. Yeah.
But yeah, I've never liked like how close everything is, and
No,
like,
us
I don't know.
either.
I feel like people are more rude.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
like-
very, very too. Yeah, it's super rude.
But
Yeah.
I want to see Maine. Maine looks cool.
Maine is beautiful.
Maine's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really nice. The air is just like so fresh there, and like the only downside is that it gets really, really cold, like really cold.
The only part of I love about New England is that it feels so fresh, like the weather. And I'm not talking. I don't think New York City counts as New England, but like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Maine, and New Hampshire and Vermont. I think that's New England. It just feels like
I thought you were about to sing a song.
Yeah, it is.
Connecticut.
But it just feels so fresh. Like I don't know. Like the weather just feels when you step out. It's like it's just a different smell, right?
During fall.
No, in summer too. In winter. The winter is just pure.
Summer?
Huh?
You step outside and it's like you hit a wall. Like,
We
it's just
constantly fight.
humidity.
We constantly. Yeah, you really don't enjoy going back. I enjoy going back over there, but for limited time. Sometimes we'll spend months and months there, and I'm like, okay, we need to leave.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like Connecticut is what made me. So it's like, I don't know. My company started there. All my best friends still live there.
It'll always have a special place in our hearts, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Right.
I'm from the Midwest, and you can't pay me to go back.
Yeah.
So.
So why did you come to Vegas?
So we actually moved from the Midwest to Colorado.
Okay.
My husband just always wanted to live in Colorado. It's really, really.
Oh, is that
pretty.
where you guys met? Is in the
No,
Midwest?
no. Yeah, in the Midwest.
Yeah, cool, yeah.
And then we moved to Colorado, and Colorado's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I guess I'm a vibe person because the people didn't vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like after the whole COVID thing, we were just like, all right, gotta go.
Yeah.
And we looked around and we wanted to stay out west because just love it out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love Arizona, I do,
Mhm.
but I can't do the city of Phoenix because it's so big.
Yeah.
And this is like smaller and very similar, and like I can't do any of the states on the coast because they're just way too liberal for me.
Right,
And then
right, yeah.
so it was like we knew we wanted to stay out west. I didn't like Arizona, just wasn't gonna work. It's just too big. And we looked here, we liked it here, we liked how close it was to everything, and
Yeah,
we were
for
just
sure.
like, why not?
Yeah.
We actually thought about going to Scottsdale.
Scottsdale is
I
beautiful.
love Scottsdale.
I love
Yeah,
that
we like working
part
down
of
there.
Phoenix.
But
Yeah, it's like a little Vegas down there, but it's
Yeah.
clean. It's like really clean.
It's
Very
nice.
clean.
It's a little
Yeah.
bit more like,
It's bougie.
It's bougie.
But Vegas is bougie too. you
Yeah,
know?
parts of Vegas are bougie.
It is. It's weird here, right? Like I
Yeah.
feel like it's so diverse and like not just races, but like or people from all over the world. Like it's literally like just so diverse in what you can do and like the type of people you can be around.
Right.
And like there's so many different scenes. Like if you're not into like the clubbing scene, there's so many other things to do, right? Like
Right,
and it's
right.
just crazy like the circles you get in and how small it is here.
Right.
Because, like, I've met people that we know that we didn't even know connect. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy how small it is here.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that was something that I never expected. Like moving here, like I thought LA was a big melting pot, and there was so many different things to do. And I did enjoy LA for the time I was there. And I was
LA's cool.
LA,
It
yeah,
is
LA
cool.
was great. I know you have different thoughts about LA. You didn't love LA, and actually Savannah was
I
the
couldn't
reason.
live there. But.
Yeah, I was there for 7 years. I didn't see anything outside. I was like, this is where I have to be. When Savannah and I met, when you came to LA back with me and spent a year there, you were like, it was already COVID. So you're
Yeah.
like, why don't we try Vegas? At the time, I was like, I've been to Vegas so many times, but it was a party city in my head. I didn't know about Summerlin and Henderson and all these little like, and also like how small Vegas really was, like you were saying, and just how diverse and just so many. Like, so I've always been in the music industry and I've jumped different genres throughout the music industry. I started in punk rock and Warped Tour, and then I went to rap music, and then I went to EDM when I came to Vegas. But then I'm starting to go back into punk rock now, which Vegas
I
has
think
like
rock's
a scene
kinda
for.
coming back.
It is,
too.
yeah.
Like it died off for a long time.
It did,
Like,
it did,
it didn't
yeah.
exist.
Right.
Yeah, but now they're bringing Warped Tour back.
Well, now and when we were young,
Yeah.
When we were
and
young, is
we
here in
worked those
Vegas.
festivals, right? So, yeah, we ended up working for When We Were Young last year in Vegas. So the
my 30-year-old self trying to headbang now.
yeah, we got to see like Green Day and My Chemical Romance and you know, a bunch of old, like, oh man, that was so fun. That was a great, you know, and I like that. I like that it's coming back. Now they just did Warped Tour. But that's what I grew up with, right? And you too, was that, you know, alternative punk emo music.
Yeah.
It's always been like generally liked, right? Like I think everyone always liked it. I don't think anybody really hated it. You know, like people hate rap or they hate country.
You're right. Everybody respects
like,
punk rock. Yeah.
It's totally different. Like everyone just kind of likes it. It's good to like turn on for like a common music, I guess.
Exactly.
You know? For sure.
You know, you could probably find something that everybody likes, or like it's just easier listening to. Than, like, some of the others.
Well, you know why everybody likes it is because it's nostalgic. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's a piece of it. Because I don't know anybody that hates like 2000s rap music, or like maybe like, you know, that was like, what, you hate 2000s rap music? Do you? Like old school. Okay, all right, that's fair. You're right. So maybe there is something about the whole emo music that's just, it makes everybody come together, right? You know.
It's just people I think relate to it maybe, or like it's calmer in a sense. Versus some other
my
stuff.
friends in the hood love that kind of music. You know, like from back home, they love that kind of music.
I just never met anyone who's like, I hate that music. Like,
I've
never heard that, but I've heard it with other genres, right? But
everybody loves a good Paramore song. You know, like
like who could hate on Mr. Brightside?
Right,
you know?
right, yeah. Good times. But I love that it's coming back, and I love that these bands are starting to do these reunion festivals, and it's cool we're working them now, right? And we're helping, you know, either help market the festival, or we're doing promotional flyers for them, whatever it calls for, and
working with specific artists and things like that.
And then seeing these bands play live after, like, you know, seeing our also our work come to life too, right?
Chris has to like tell me sometimes, he's like, all right, keep it cool, you know, there's that person from that band over there, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah. You're like, I'm trying not to fangirl out.
I know.
Yeah, we're supposed to work it this year with Panic at the Disco and Blink-182.
I would cry.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
That's she's gonna need CBD.
I will. I'm gonna have a panic attack. Just meeting them.
You're like, here, eat these.
You're like, all right, Savannah. It's
time for your dose.
Medicate me.
Yeah. So no, we're excited. Yeah, I think you know, it's we have like I said, we're traveling so much. So that's actually why we're coming back, is we're supposed to work when we were young. October 16th, and then so we leave in a few days for Athens for the next 3 months. We're gonna island jump, and then we'll come back and we'll work when we were young, and then we're kind of stationary in the winter, so we'll end up staying in Vegas for about 3-4 months. I say that
it's because the weather's the best here during that
time. Oh yeah, I love the winter's great. Going out is so much fun in the winter because it's just like, I don't know, everybody. And the best part about Vegas too that I didn't realize is that because nobody lives here, it's like when you meet somebody that does live here, it's like, let's grab a drink later, let's go get food, like let's do this, and it's like, it just feels like family. And that's actually how we ended up moving here, was we were on vacation here living in LA, and we met a DJ that I was working for on the Strip, and him and his wife, Mikey Francis, and we work with him, but he's one of my best friends, our best friend. And
they were so nice. They were like, oh, you guys are thinking about moving here, we're gonna take you to this place and this place, we'll invite you over our house, we'll cook you dinner. Like, they were just so sweet.
I think people are like that here, because you move here and like you don't typically have family here, unless you're from here.
Well, why is it like that anywhere else? Maybe, and obviously I haven't lived, you know, I've lived in a lot of major cities. Vegas is the first major city that felt welcoming, as far as you can be whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, there's no judgments here. It's just, you can, as long as you're not hurting anybody, like, we accept everybody and anything, and no other city in the world ever felt like that.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because there's so many people from all over the world.
Right.
Like, it's not just all over the United States. It's literally all over the world.
Right.
Yeah, so many different walks of life just in one place.
And if you're coming here, you have to be open to socializing and making friends, right? Because typically you're not here with other people.
Right.
And I think also like we talked about before, it being an edgier city, I think that's a big part of it, because I wouldn't say LA is an edgy city.
No.
I don't think there's any edgy cities in the U.S. except for Vegas. And I think that's that's part of it, right? Is that you have to be okay with, that edginess and that other side. Sin City, right? You have to be okay with what Vegas has to offer and so I think that's a big part of it.
Overall, I love the people here.
Yeah.
The only thing is, and tell me if you guys have experienced this too, but people not being who they say they are. So like they're acting like they're this more than what they are. It might be who they want to be, which is cool, but like they lie about who they actually are.
Yeah, because I think the city's very easy to get away with that.
Yeah.
I think LA was like that too. I think you can be whoever you want in Vegas, and it's they'll exaggerate or make something bigger than they are.
Yeah.
Most of the people I know out here, I don't know what they do for a living. I don't think they know, and I know you talked about this because I've seen it on your podcast before. But I don't think people know what I do for a living. We just kind of like have an understanding. It's really interesting when you don't even know what lane that person is, but you've known them for so long. I've known people for 4 years. I see them all the time when I'm in Vegas. I would consider them a close friend. I don't know what they do. I don't even know if I really care because they're fun to be with. And you know what I'm saying? But but I feel like people probably think the same thing as me. I mean, on social media, you can see what we do. But I don't know if like our parents feel like that, right? I mean, the constant argument between our parents is
like that.
Our parents do not know what we do, and
they're like, how do they make money?
They don't they don't ask questions, so it's like I think it just frustrates them.
Because we're traveling all the time too, and they just don't understand.
They're like, how do they can afford all this? And I think people just think we're constantly on vacation and we're constantly like getting drunk on the strip, like doing these crazy, Las Vegas. Things, and it's
They probably think we sell drugs on the side.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure our neighbors think we do, just because my husband's a car guy. So.
Yeah, it's like and like so we have friends like that, right? I have a friend that he has like 5 Lamborghinis that he bought outright, and I don't know what he does, but it's like I don't really care. It's none of my business, Like I don't know. Maybe as guys, like we're a little bit more like nonchalant. Like remember we would talk about it where it's like. I should get more information. We just talked about this.
Oh, yes. I was telling him because he was filling me in on some drama that happened within our friend group. And I was like, oh, so what happened with this? He's like, I don't know. I didn't ask. I'm like, why not? If you're going to report back to me, you need to tell me the details. I think we had a friend
break. We had a group of friends break up. And, I just went up to Savannah. I was like, like so-and-so broke up. And she's like, how? Why? I was like, I don't really know. I didn't get that far. I just kind of was like,
I think it's our instant reaction as females to be like, wait, what? Why?
Right.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, next time I'm going to give you a little note card. I'm going to write down the questions for you. So when next time this happens, you just pull out the note card and you can read the questions.
You're like, oh yeah, this is what I need to ask.
Exactly. So you can come back and report to me about it. Like,
there's an ongoing note in your phone that's just like, ask these questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. We just saw on TikTok about it. That's what it was making me think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some videos on that. It's so true.
The wife comes back with like, he goes back to the friend and he's like, who'd you break up with? And then it's like...
Are you seeing anybody else?
Yeah. Right.
But it's funny too because on the opposite side of that, you guys will ask you, well, what happened? And we'll be able to actually answer it.
Exactly.
We ask the same questions. It's just
there's something always fun about a little gossip though. You're just like, nobody really knows, and you're just like, all right, like, why do you think?
I gotta know why. I gotta know why.
Yeah. Well, you're a gossipy little bitch. You love all the info, okay? Whenever I'm on the phone with somebody and I'm like, oh my God, he comes popping right in. He's like, what's going on? What's happening?
So, well, you'll be like, you'll hear something, and you'll be like, holy shit. And I'm like, oh my God, like what's going on? And it's like something so tiny. And like you do that while driving. Oh no, you do that in the house. She also.
I'm just like, what the hell?
I might be going down the rabbit hole real quick, but you'll do this thing where it's like you'll see a hair on my shirt. Or like you'll see, this is a good, so you see, recently you saw a hair in my shirt and you're like, this. And I'm like, oh my God, there's like a fucking, huge spider on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, still. She's like, freeze, don't move. And I'm like, it's like, and then she'll just go up to me and pluck it off. And I'm like, what is that? She's like, oh, it's just a hair. I'm like, what the fuck? Dude? Like,
Gotta keep you on your toes.
Yeah, or like while driving, like today on the way here, she's like, fuck. And I'm like, I thought we were going to hit something. And it was like out in the distance or like something, I forget what it was. You know, it was like a fucking, something really random that did not call for that extreme. But you're right. I am when you get, I'm nosy. I like to know what's going on. Well, besides like, I don't know, but then there's certain things that I just care less of. I pick my battles as far as, So that situation with our friend breaking up with the other friend, I'm just like, all right, like,
You're like, cool, I seen it coming.
Yeah, sorry to hear,
Sometimes I'm like that too, like, I already knew that was going to happen.
Right, yeah. Yeah, especially here in Vegas, I feel like it's, there's a lot of drama here in Vegas. I don't probably everywhere, but
yeah.
I don't know. Vegas is,
I don't know, it depends. It kind of like goes through its like phases. It's like sometimes there's no drama, everything's great, everything's fine, and then everything's happening all at once. But the best part is that we leave so much that we're never a part of the drama. So
oh yeah, well
we come back and we hear about all this stuff. We get the fill in from all our other friends, and we're like, oh my god.
We're only here 3 months a year, so it's like, yeah, we're not around.
You don't have to pick a side.
No, it's
Yes.
great. It's great.
Thank
We
God.
come back and we're like, what the hell happened? Like these people are not talking to these people. I think it's interesting being in a relationship and then having a bunch of other friends that are like, you kind of go into that circle, right? Of just like, and then it's really fascinating. That,
I try to keep the circle very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
very
us
small.
too. 100%,
it's easier that way.
Definitely.
For sure.
And like I feel like you need to in order to have like genuine connections. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, we've met some really genuine people out here.
Oh, there's some great people.
Yeah,
Especially because you're lucky because you get to meet people from everywhere, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I think is really cool. Like
Yeah.
I think it's really cool to meet people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the best part of our job, I think, is the people
just
that we
the
meet.
people.
That's what makes it fun.
Learning about other cultures, experiencing like just conversations in general that you would never experience.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with people that were from another country that had like basically escaped, right? Like from that country coming here, and it's really cool to like see that and like see somebody talking so positively about moving to this country, especially how things have been like media wise.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool to like see their side. It's sad too sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I've heard a lot of sad stories. I worked with a guy that was like basically escaped from Mexico with a bad situation, and like like there's so many of those too, and you're just like, it's a powerful story, and it's almost like a connection you make like with them sharing that.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
It just really puts things into perspective and like makes you appreciate the things that you have. And even when we go over to Greece, like there's our friends are filling us in like issues with their government and things like that, and it's like, oh, like,
And Greece is, I think, a little bit more like, I mean, yeah,
I mean, Greece isn't even bad, but
Right.
the issues that you wouldn't normally think of that they're experiencing, we're like, oh, we don't have to deal with that.
We have a lot
over
of
in
friends from
America,
Venezuela. Venezuela is like a really tough tough country. With a lot. We work in Aruba a lot, a few times a year, and I want to say most of the island, but there's a lot of Venezuelans from or that go to Aruba, that work on the island and live on the island. They move for a better life, and that country is tough. That country is really, really. I feel bad for those people, because it looks like such a beautiful country. But their
And as
government.
an American, like you go somewhere and you just assume everyone's like, you look around and everything looks fine. You don't know really what people are going through.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, 100%. So.
I think we're a little spoiled here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like some of the things people
I think
complain about, I'm
it's,
like,
it's great here. I can't like going to these other countries. It makes it. I mean, I have my own issues with the U.S. as well, but I think it makes you appreciate home as once you see certain struggles, and it's like you actually have you have it good here.
we have issues, but they're like more like spoiled brat issues.
For
like,
sure.
It's
Yeah.
stuff that we can fix,
I agree.
like, or we can ignore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you see these people actually going through some real struggles, and you're like, you like start to understand like
their houses get shot up for no reason,
Right.
or
Yeah.
like it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, families missing and being captive, and it's sad. It's really like some of these countries are really
put you in jail in like a horrible like prison.
Yeah.
Like for minor things that you get away with in this country.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I think we're pretty spoiled.
Definitely. I agree. 100%. Yeah.
Very fortunate.
Anything else you guys want to touch base on? I know we've been all. I told you it was gonna.
No,
be
this
that
is
way.
cool. This is great. I don't know, Savvy, you can think of anything else?
No.
Do you guys have any cool projects like coming up besides the
The
tours?
traveling?
Yeah. And the travel.
Yeah, we have. There's one project we can't talk about, but
I know.
yeah, we
Very
do.
hush-hush.
So a side of our company that we work for a lot is we work for drink companies that I kind of mentioned before.
Yeah.
So we do TV commercials and we do product design and we do pitch decks for companies, graphic design, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we have that side of the company. So we're working on some really exciting stuff through that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Is it new brand deals or?
Essentially, like
Yeah.
it's a company coming to us and they're saying we're trying to release this product, and so they want us to completely brand it. Do the marketing.
we'll create the
activation.
graphics.
Oh, very cool. So
Yeah.
you guys are doing everything
Yes.
from like
Yeah.
for the design. portion of it.
Yeah, from the
Right.
ground
Very
up.
cool.
Well, even
yeah.
the activations. I mean, the TV commercials, like everything.
That's
Literally
super
from
cool.
ground up.
Mhm.
Because the whole thing, like you said, we want to be a one-stop shop. So as far as marketing, so we want a company being able to come to us and not have to go through other agencies
Mhm.
if we can help it, right?
Yeah.
And we outsource through us, so we know the best routes to go to. But that's the goal, to have people on staff, right? And have people under us that all kind of.
So I just finished that project this morning actually,
Yeah,
and it was
6
like
a.m.
a 2-week thing where I had to type up all sorts of different budgets, activations, and ideas to send it over to them. So I was like banging my head against a wall for a while, but now it's good. Now it's good. So hopefully that's a great thing coming.
Yeah, we just
Very cool.
did a big project in Paso Robles for a property. It's a bed and breakfast called Kendrick Oak.
Cool.
It's a luxury farm stay. So we stayed on the property for a few weeks creating that last week. We just got back 2 days ago, and then that's really it. I mean, we have like obviously the hotel stuff, and we're gonna work for Greece Tourism Board and a bunch of hotels when we go over there on Monday. And then when we come back to Vegas, I know it's just there's so many things that pop up, and last minute things all the time, right? We'll have companies that will hit us up 24 hours before and like, we need this done.
Mm-hmm.
But we're excited to like keep building the team, and we're constantly challenging ourselves, right? And exploring new projects, and life's been great. Life's been awesome lately,
Looking
so.
forward
cool.
to more craziness.
All the more crazy. It's good. Crazy is good.
Yeah, crazy is good.
Chaos is great.
Definitely.
Yes.
So before we like wrap up, I just want to
Yeah.
ask you one question, because what stood out to me the most when I looked at your social media, like
Okay.
after we were chatting,
Mhm.
was the cool photography, like the cool photos that you guys have done, and you said that you did it like you do real fire and like real crazy stuff. So,
It depends on as far as reels. Sometimes we use Photoshop, but
Okay.
it
so
depends
what
on
is the craziest set you've had, like that you set up and used?
Oh man, we did
Craziest one.
Like the one like most people like wouldn't like think was possible kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
The
what do you-
TVs.
the wall of TVs.
Yeah, the wall
Yeah.
of like box TVs.
I don't know, we
built
had
this
that
whole,
shot
like
of-
studio set up of all these old TVs like stacked on top of one another, and it's a real wall of TVs, so it's like they all turn on and everything.
We do a lot of Photoshop and
That's pretty
AI
cool.
stuff, but it started out as like all in most of the sets that we work on is all in person, and we have a set designer building it, or we're building it ourselves.
Mhm.
We do have a wall of TVs that we built. We get a lot of comments on
how
that.
did you even find those TVs?
Like a lot through Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, Facebook
Okay,
Marketplace.
that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
People just gave me out free TVs.
and-
I just bought a TV for a house that's gutted, and it's a big box TV. And I'm actually gonna put a garden inside of the box TV.
Oh, cool.
Like, I don't know, I just thought it was cool, and I'm gonna put a fake garden in so I can keep it in the home.
Is it like one of those smaller ones, or is it like those
No, it's
big
massive.
The really
the
huge.
big, like
Yeah,
when,
yeah.
what big widescreen
Yeah,
TVs
yeah.
used to be?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I want to put a garden in it, because I like our house is like we have so many artists. Like I'm sure you've seen on our page, but we collaborate with so many different painters and artists. Our home is like almost like a little art gallery. We have like people that draw our work all over the place, and all this stuff that's like prop wise, right, that we turn into stuff. So that's like my next project, is turning that TV into something. We do some photos too where we had like a photo shoot of this woman that was reaching, hit herself in the TV and reaching out through it at the camera. That was for a campaign. But as far as our favorite, the TV one is great. I have another photo that I'll send you, and I have this like probably 4 or 5 photos that everybody comes to me and it's like, this is AI, this is Photoshop. It's not. That back when AI and I didn't know really any Photoshop, it took us like 10 hours to get these shots. It's the one of Michael Manelli, and he like goes up on his hind leg. He's a dancer and a singer, and he goes up on his hind leg and he spills a glass of wine in midair. And it was one of the hardest shots, and it took us literally 10 hours to get that shot. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it was like 6 to 10, I would say. 6 to 10 hours.
Anything with liquid in the
my
air
God.
had to.
We went through 10 bottles of wine to get this shot, and it's the perfect splash. I'll have to send it to you because it is one of the coolest stories. Everybody thinks it's fake. Looking at it, right?
And you're like, there was work put into
yeah. So that was a badass shot. But we have a bunch of stuff that I'll send you that is like some of the, you think it's fake and it's not. It just took us a long time to do. Now, fortunately, with AI and we have Photoshop editors and stuff, we want sets to be safe. Back, when we first got together and we started doing more editorial stuff, but I've always been doing crazy stuff before we met.
Still setting stuff on
fire. We were like just pushing the limit of like, I've gotten hurt on set like with a smoke grenade going off my hand and 3rd-degree burns. Like there's stuff that weren't necessarily safe in order to make art, and I wanted to, safety's always got to be number 1 priority, especially when it comes to people that we work with. So now that we have a Photoshop team, we're using a lot of AI within that. Some stuff we can use the real props and exaggerate it with those tools, and it just comes out 10 times better than, or put them in a spaceship or this or that, right? Yeah. I can do some really cool stuff with Photoshop. My team can. So yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, utilizing those tools, especially AI now, because if you don't utilize AI, you're falling behind.
100%. We talk about it all the time. We're big, advocates of AI, and I think, everybody should be using AI and trying to get ahead of the curve. Yeah. I think,
especially as a tool, like it's not like you're relying solely on it, but
right.
It's just like another tool, like another social media app. You just want to learn how to use it, so then you can incorporate it into your everyday life, and it just makes things a lot easier.
AI
is a skill.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a skill, and I think in our craft, it's important to get ahead of it than fall behind, because I truly don't believe, I don't think AI is going to take our jobs.
No.
Especially for what we do. I think as long as we stay ahead of it, I think if you allow it to take your job and you fall behind, it could, especially with graphics and VFX, right, and certain things like I'm able to create through AI right now. But if you're able to use it just as a tool, and you can double your work and make it really, really badass, right? So,
you can do more if you know how to use it. I mean, I think people they think that it's just gonna just take over, right? Well, it doesn't work that way. Even if you use it, like you think you're going to be able to cheat sheet with it, if you don't know how to use it, you can't. It's just Google at that point.
Exactly.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now I'm excited to see where it goes. And then who knows, maybe in 30 years I could be wrong, and it could be the next iRobot, and we'll go back to this interview and everybody can say you were wrong.
I'm gonna go with we weren't.
I don't think we were wrong either. I think
if that happens, it's gonna be probably long after we're gone.
Oh, for sure. I agree. I 100% agree. No, I think it's great. I think it's ChatGPT is awesome. It's a great format.
I literally used it to make this.
Oh, really? Amazing. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we use it a lot.
I'm not artistic, so I could not make this otherwise.
Yeah. it just kind of helps. Like we have, especially for me having, I'm so scattered brain. It helps kind of put everything into one, right? And it just helps make sense of stuff that I can't articulate like through paper,
I totally understand, because your mind will go like 20 different directions, and it'll help narrow all those down.
It was built for people with ADHD.
I think you're right. Maybe that's why we use it. All right, guys. So cool. Is there any last message you want to add on here?
No. Stay in school, don't do drugs, and that's it.
Perfect.
Cool.
I really hope that she didn't knock that into a weird position. Doesn't it look like it's off?
Maybe.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be really upset. It's definitely just on you guys.
Is it just on us?
Yeah,
No.
which is
Oh, no.
fine.
You sure?
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We'll roll with it.
Okay.